right. Okay. Hello, my name is Osborne, and this is my submission for AGDQ2023 for Goosebumps Dead of Night. This is a really cool licensed title. It's like a first-person Goosebumps game, which that in itself is already amazing to conceive. And the community behind this game has really grinded it down to the bone and made it so that it's really an amazing speed run. There's lots of glitches and lots of skips that we're going to be talking about. There's a lot of things to say and not a lot of time to say it, so I hope that I can have a good impression, a good first showcase with this. Currently, we're going to be going through the 12/29/14 that I have right now, and I'm hoping that you guys can be impressed with what this run has to offer. And yeah, let's go straight into it. We're going to go on the normal difficulty. There is an extreme difficulty that I'd like to have like a category incentive upgrade for, and I'm hoping that I can have that happen if the games committee will have it. And I'm hoping that, again, I can make a good impression with this because I think it has a really good potential. And you're going to see that right here. So we're going to go straight into new game, and the timing will begin when we load into the first level as soon as we skip this cutscene right here. Yes, the typewriter and I are one, Jack Black. We love to see it. But now timing has begun. We're going to interact with that typewriter because Jack Black is stuck in it, because why wouldn't he be? And the first thing you're going to notice right here is that I'm actually walking diagonally. In this game, your speed builds up a lot more when you walk diagonally versus when you walk straight forward. And so that's going to be our primary method of transportation here. And I'm also going to be using stamina throughout this game. And yes, the stamina bar is the most annoying thing, but we do have ways to overcome that in later levels. Right here is our first skip. You can see that as I opened that tomb, I was lodging myself into the corner next to the handrail here, so that I'm slightly out of sight of the ghoul, and so she won't see me when she walks past me. We're going to walk past her and go down these stairs, and as soon as we see the load icon in the bottom left corner, we're going to try and reload the checkpoint, and we're going to lodge ourselves into that cabinet here in order to grab the page, kind of clip into it. And during this section, we're going to grab 10 pages, and it's much like Sunderman, and they're going to see a lot of me clipping in and out of objects, going out of bounds in order to collect some of these pages. And so right here, there's a lawn gnome attack. 3 of these lawn gnomes are going to steal your pages, and one of them is going to steal a key, and that is the only one that we care about. We're going to grab a key from the lawn gnome right here. Boom, like that. And then we're going to go straight into the bathroom, and we're going to grab another key, and that key leads us to the master bedroom that we're going to go to later. And right here, we're going to be doing something called hitbox displacement. When you crouch underneath an object and then uncrouch, for whatever reason, your hitbox kind of like gets shifted, and that allows you to like kind of clip through objects like that, through walls, and so you can interact with that hiding place and just go straight into it, like clip through the wall and go straight into it. We're going to reload checkpoint and grab 2 more pages right here. And then we're going to go and kind of lodge ourselves through this wall so we can open the door from the other side, and that skips a cutscene in which we have to interact with a killer clown, and we don't have time for killer clowns in this game. So all the glitches that I just did, in which I went out of bounds and I just displaced my hitbox, all that jazz, that allows us to skip 2 major monsters in this section, the wolf and the killer clown. And so in reality, the only one we have to deal with is the ghoul, and thankfully she's not much of a problem. We're going to grab that page and then reload checkpoint, and we're going to grab the final page over here in the master bedroom. We're going to go underneath the bed, turn around, and then boom, there's another one right there. And right here, we're going to be reloading checkpoint, and now we're going to be going down to the basement in order to fight Slappy. There is Slappy, but that's not the real Slappy. That's not the Slappy that we want. All these gnomes are going to try and interact with you, trying to bother you, but again, it does not matter. As long as every time they reset checkpoint, you get all of your pages back, so like none of the gnomes stealing any of your pages matter. So the Slappy fight is what we like to call pseudo RNG, and the reason that we say that is because it's based on the way that Slappy interacts with you and Slappy spawns is based on your camera positioning and overall position in the level. So theoretically, if you do the same thing every time, you should have the same outcome, but the game likes to mess around with you, and so you don't always have the same outcome. Like right here, boom. And like as you can see, there should be a red gnome there, but it didn't appear, so we're gonna have to do some improvisation, and we need to shoot Slappy a second time. We need to hit him 3 times with gnomes, and let's see if we can get it a 3rd time. And overall, this is going to be a relatively quick fight. We're going to lodge ourselves into this corner and just look out for Slappy here. He's going to come in through the right side over there, but then he didn't. He walked back. He should be coming in through the left side over here as we go through here. Right there next to the door, as a matter of fact. That lawn gnome, thank goodness breaks before it interacts with us, because if a llama can actually interact with you and kill you during that last animation in which Slappy is being sucked into the book, and so even though you defeated the boss, you could still die, and that is probably like one of the most annoying things ever. But thankfully that didn't happen, and you can see there's a bit of an audio glitch on the left side here in which you can still hear Slappy walking in this top section, but Slappy has already been captured and all that jazz. So Jack Black is going to warn us that we should not follow Jack Black, but we're going to ignore Jack Black and follow Jack Black anyway. Jack Black voices R.L. Stein and also Slappy, so you're going to be seeing me do a lot of those jokes back and forth. So we're going to go straight ahead into the second section, which is the greenhouse. The greenhouse, during this beginning cutscene, Slappy is going to poison us with a poisonous gas out of his flower, and it's going to turn us into like a human plant hybrid. And so that's kind of a lore update. But for the cutscenes, we can actually try and get a few donations in as well, because the lore of this game isn't too grandiose or anything like that. And so, as you can see, we're turning into that plant monster thing. And right here, we're going to have the introduction to a really cool glitch known as Infinite Sprint Glitch. What Infinite Sprint Glitch allows us to do is sprint infinitely, if you can imagine. As you can see right there, the stamina meter is telling me that I am exhausted, but I'm still able to sprint. And the reason that works is because when you run out of stamina, there's a 5-second grace period, or like in which the game tells you that you are exhausted before it starts replenishing your stamina again. And if an audio file in the game ends during that 5-second grace period, you can actually infinitely sprint. Like the game will just allow you to infinitely sprint. I do not know why those two things are connected in any way, but that's just what happens. And so we can walk through here, and we want to be very careful in this specific section because it's going to lock our camera, and so we have to kind of like walk backwards as we're like moving around, and we want to make sure that we do not fall into the river because then we'll die. We want to make very careful use of our mechanic movement over here. As these delete pads go up and down, and then we lose the infinite sprint glitch because we're locked into this cutscene right here. And if you thought the infinite sprint glitch was a wacky glitch, wait until you see this next glitch. It's an absolutely amazing glitch. It's incredible to see, really. And then we're going to move this box, and then we're going to go on top of it as we grab it. And then we're going to crouch, and when we uncrouch, we're going to use the box to just fly through the air. It's simply going to go up, and in order to lower the height, we're going to be able to crouch, and then upon uncrouching, we're going to go back up. So there's no collision on any of the ceilings of this area, so why would there be? And we're just going to fly over here and go to this next section, which will grab this fruit, and grabbing the fruit allows us to unlock the chemistry station in which you can create the potion that will cure us of our planty disease. And since we already have the last ingredient, the game thinks, oh, you must have the rest of the ingredients, so it'll just continue with this cutscene, when in reality we never actually collected the rest of the ingredients, and we skipped like 3 sections because of that flying box glitch. But this specific section is a little annoying because of the controls that you have to do to pour the potions into this elixir here. And so the elixir like it has kind of like gyro controls in a weird way, but it's also on mouse. It's like really disorienting. And so as you can see here, they have audio cues as to when you should stop pouring each potion into the elixir, and it doesn't really matter at the end of this. Once it gets to 70, it should be 10 of the yellow and 20 of all the other 3. And so once it gets to 70, it'll just immediately give you the purple elixir, and you can get cured of your planty disease. And right here, we're going to interact with Dr. Brewer over here on the left side, and we can see that Dr. Brewer is also this mad scientist who turned himself into a plant, and he was just trying to make sure that we suffered the fate along with him. And so right here, we're going to turn around and shoot that potion into Dr. Brewer. You want to really make sure that potion doesn't miss, because if you do, you have to restart the entire potion thing again, and that's just going to be incredibly annoying. And so we're going to walk around Dr. Brewer here, and then we're going to go into the Tesla Tower, which is the final area of the game. For a lore update, Slappy wants to control Tesla Tower and use it to spread his magic at the world, but of course we are hired to stop that by Nikola Tesla. And so again, during these cutscenes is the time that I have to open up for donations as well. And so the lore updates aren't too drastic here, but we got to go fight Jack Black at the end of this. This specific section has a lot of stuff to look forward to, especially with the glitches and skips that we're going to be seeing here. And so I'm just going to go straight into the Tesla Tower. And we're going to move across. And we're going to have another cutscene here. And again, another really good time for donations. Now, we're going to be skipping a lot of stuff in this section. Primarily, there's this specific section that allows us to go through like 3 different rooms in which we have to solve 3 different puzzles. And we're just going to not do any of that. And the reason that we not to do any of that is because we're actually going to clip through this small little container right here in which we will grab the gun. So there's actually a gun that we need to grab here, and it's like the gun that we're going to see in this container right here. That's an actual gun. It's physically there. You can grab it. So what we're going to be doing is going up on top of this section, and then we're going to try and open up the container first and foremost. And as we go on there, we're going to unlock the container, and then we're going to pick up the gun immediately. Sometimes it happens immediately, like it did right there, and sometimes it doesn't. It's a really funky strat, but it really shouldn't take more than a few seconds in order to grab the gun, so long as you are generally pointing at the same place. And right here is probably the best exhibition of infinite sprint glitch in this run, even better than what we saw in level 2, because you can see exactly where I'm going to be running out of stamina in order so the infinite sprint glitch can work. So as soon as he says make him pay, I'm going to run out of stamina, and since the audio file ended while I was exhausted, we're going to be able to just infinitely sprint throughout this level. And we're going to turn around, and because of the infinite sprint glitch that we have, this specific section on the right side is actually meant to fall down before we are able to cross it, but since we have infinite sprint glitch, we can walk across it before it falls down. And we want to make sure that we're avoiding the witches here, because they will kill us if you touch them. And so we can actually kill them with the laser or with the gun here, but you know, as long as you're out of their way, it really doesn't matter. So we're going to go up into the final section of the Tesla Tower, which we'll fight Slappy again. This is going to be the final boss. And you can actually keep infinite sprint glitch even throughout these loading screens and cutscenes, as long as you keep holding down shift and a direction. I'm not sure if I do it here, but if I do, you're going to be able to see it pretty easily. So Slappy is going to introduce 3 of his henchmen right here, or 2 henchmen and henchwoman. The ghoul, the killer clown, and the werewolf. The ghoul was the only one that we actually saw in the house because of all the skips that we actually had to do. The clown and the werewolf were in the house, but we just never saw them. And so each of the enemies have these like green little orby things, or these orb things that are walking around, these spirit things, because you could say all the different colors. The clown will have a red one, and they all spawn in the same location, but I tend to forget where they spawn, and so you gotta try to look out for them. But even when you're walking around the area, you want to make sure that you're actually defending yourself from the witches as well, because if you get hit by their attacks, they will kill you too. And generally speaking, the hitboxes for the little spirit orb things are going to be either like really precise if they're far away, or just really like you can like miss them by a mile and still get them if you're really close to them. And so right here, we're just going to be shooting this last yellow one 3 times so we can kill the werewolf. Again, you want to keep moving so that the werewolf doesn't grab you, or that you don't get hit by any of the witch's attacks. And then after that, we're going to be killing Slappy, and time is going to come up pretty soon. You just have to, Slappy is going to shoot his blaster at us, and boom, that's time. We're going to shoot it right back at him, and his head is going to pop off. And that is the end of my run for any percent normal of Goosebumps Dead of Night. It has a really nice song at the end of the credits that I'm going to be showing, obviously, and but I don't have it here on my page. But again, that was Goosebumps Dead of Night, and I'm hoping that you can have that was a pretty good impression, a pretty good idea of what I can show off at the marathon. And generally speaking, even with that should be pretty achievable this kind of time, even with the mistakes that I made. Estimate's going to be around 16 minutes, so plenty of ample space, and the majority of the stuff that we have has pretty quick retry periods or pretty quick backups as well. So I hope that you enjoyed it. And that is Goosebumps Dead of Night Any Percent Normal. I'm really hoping that I can come back on the GDQ stage, even if it's just virtually, and aim to impress. So yeah, that's going to be it for me.